Hey, what is up, guys? This is Corvis Insane. That's like my new intro now. Just every single topic we cover on this channel is insane recently. But yeah, the bait is crazy as hell. Let's check out what the Progressive Chance event is going to hold for us tomorrow. It's the CVC bait time. Let's see what champions we're not going to pull for tomorrow, shall we? Unless, of course, you're very, very close to your Sacred Shard Messi or Ancient Shard Messi. Not really looking to pull Void Shards here unless you are within Messi and there's something that you really, really want to go for, because, my god, there are some bloody good champions down here, man. Before we get started, if you can create a new raid account, man, get that done right now by clicking on the beginner link that's down below this video at the top of the description box, and use that link to create your new account for Corvis the Corruptor as your day one start a legendary champion, as well as all of the sweaty, grimy, epic champions that you see on screen right now. You can get it done while Ezio's the login reward legendary for an incredible double AoE poison activation sweat lord opener to your new raid account, man. And make sure you use beginner code GOFAST to grab Razzlevag as well for your new raid account, man. Okay, man. So this Tuesday, aka the personal rewards CVC, we're planning to launch a Progressive Chance event. 15x chance to summon champions of your choice from the selected pool, blah, 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 blah. You guys know the drill. Now, some spotlighted champions here real quick, and then we'll talk about why you probably don't want to pull for this, again, unless you're into Messi with these shards and you're sitting on a whole lot of shards sort of in backup, right? Basim. Worth a highlight straight away, man. One of the most, not one of the most sought after assassins, but not a bad assassin. Venalicia, very, very good as well. Honestly, most of these pretty great, apart from maybe Glacier. Newt is absolutely insane. Mad Hatter, crazy. For me, man, the real golden pick between all of those is probably going to be the Newt. I think the Newt is just one of those, right? He's an insane defense-based max HP nuker with a 410 cooldown, triple hit smack on his A3. This is unbelievable into... I almost want to say like every boss in the game to an extent, but of course into areas of the game like Dragon, where you're just trying to burst the boss down exceptionally quickly. Not bad into Hydra, because he brings a triple hit A1 that can freeze or place 10-minute decrease conditionally. He's amazing into Hard Fire Knight. The 10-minute decrease is amazing into normal Fire Knight, into Dark Fae. You know, you can just list off how many areas of the game Newt is good into, and he's just extraordinarily good. AoE decrease attack and weaken debuff as well on his A2 skill. So fantastic option to go for. Special shout out for one that might be a little bit slept on is going to be Mad Hatter. This is, of course, a fusion champion from last year. Fantastic champion, brings an AoE hex debuff and weaken debuff. It's an attack all enemies, 310 cooldown on the A2, and it will also team up with the ally with the highest crit damage on your team to join up and join the ally attack. So if you've got a very, very powerful ally attacker champion, a champion with like a ungodly powerful A1, like a Whisper or a bloody Teox or something like just really exceptionally insane with the A1 damage, it can be an incredible champion to bring into. So, well, I think he's often used in a lot of Chimera teams, actually, but certainly Hydra brings a hell of a lot of healing as well on his passive. Every 10 turns you take with your team, heal all allies by 20% of max HP. Just not insignificant at all, man. And 10 turns absolutely flies by. You're going to got like any champions on your team with extra 10 mechanics and stuff. Mad Hatter was one of those fusions that everyone thought, you know what? He actually seems really good. And then he was released and he was like, no, he's not just really good. He's actually extraordinarily good. Like, he's fantastic. I think he actually surpassed people's high expectations. So I think he is worth shouting out, especially if you're lacking weaken or hex debuff champions on your account, man. Now, all of this is to say, by the way, and I will get into the Void champions that you can summon during the CVC as well if you're towards Void Shard Messi. So do make sure that you're checking how close you are to your Shard Messi, and you've got to track that independently, because for some odd reason, with all the quality of life changes that PLARIUM added into the game, they still don't have an actual in-game Messi tracker to show you how close you are to hitting Messi. PLARIUM! Get on that, man. What are you guys thinking? Come along now. Save your shards. Save your shards, man. I'm telling you. Okay, not only do we have an ongoing fusion for a champion that's pretty good, so if you're doing the fusion to try and summon, where the hell is she? Oh, there she is, all the way down to the bottom. If you're doing this fusion to try and get your hands on Noldura, be aware that there's a Hero's Path event coming up towards the end of this fusion. There's probably going to be like a perfect soul up for grabs. There are going to be ways to get your hands on her Valentine's partner, Solana, I believe is called. There's a lot of juicy, saucy events where you might be needing your shards coming up over the next couple weeks, so be aware of that. And then next month, we're going into, I don't know why I'm looking at my daily login rewards, but next month, we're going into the raid anniversary events for March, and that's promising to be a Sweatlord sequence of events as well. So seriously, man, unless you are into Messi on your shards and you can pull a few and just hit gold one time and try your luck at some of these champions, save everything you can. This is going to be a month of getting through events using the bare minimum resources for most players. Not to say, though, that it isn't tempting. Again, Venalicia is also great. But same, if you're trying to get your hands on all the assassins, you might want to lock him in if you're close to Messi on those. As for the Voids, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, these Void champions, bro. So Valkana's crazy. Gaspard and Klazag are two of the champions that I covered in my video. I covered like 7 or 8 champions, I think, in all of Raid Shadow Legends, like the entire game. That the video's titled something like, if you pull these champions, you won the video game known as Raid Shadow Legends. Well, it wasn't that wordy, but you get the point, right? These are some of the best champions in the game. Okay, like pretty much unrivaled. When it comes to Klazak, not only does he bring, I believe, a crap load of, I think he's in Ogre, brings a crap load of max HP damage on his 2, I want to say. Does he bring max HP damage? Oh god, okay. So his passive deals damage based on enemy max HP. How does that even work, right? Whenever this champion places a debuff on an enemy, deals damage equal to 1% of the max HP for each debuff they are currently under, stacking up to 10%. Of course, like most bosses inside of Raid, they have a cap on how much max HP damage you can actually deal to them, but even still, it's going to be very, very easy to hit that cap with this passive skill. Every time he applies debuffs, on his A2, he places decreased defense and weaken debuff on all enemies on the first hit of an attack all enemy skill, and then on the second hit, he places decreased defense, decreased res. The amount of max HP damage you're landing on an attack all enemies type skill, given it's a double hitter, is just sweaty. I mean, it's gross, it's veiny, it's throbbing. You'll also notice, man, that this is not just decreased defense weaken, but it's also decreased accuracy, decreased res. Incredible for just maximizing the amount of unique debuffs that you're placing onto Chimera. And so for Chimera trials, this is unbelievable as well. The AoE decreased accuracy on this A2 against Hydra for building like Mischief tanks and high resistance teams that can just never have their buff stolen ever by the head of Mischief is unbelievable. Basically making them like provoke and poison immune as well with these high resistance teams. Much easier with decreased accuracy. And then on the A3 410 cooldown, counterattack and unkillable buff on all allies for 2 turns, place a taunt on Klazag, and if a boss is in the fight, these buffs are protected. My goodness, is this one of the better champions inside of Raid, man. I won't touch on Gaspard quite as much because I don't want to spend too long on these champions, but they deserve all the love. Wait a minute, is Gaspard undead? He is, man. Gaspard the Accursed, absolutely insane. I shouldn't cover all of his kit, but his A1's an attack all enemies, decrease attack, weaken debuff. Like, what are we even doing with this A1? That's just disgusting how good that is. The A2 is an attack all enemies, 100% land rate provoke under 3 turn, plus increased def and shield buff on all allies for 2 turns. The shield is huge. Insane survivability. And then his A3 attacks one enemy, ignores everything, basically, that can mitigate damage, pretty much. Apart from, like, Stone Skin and increase defense. If the target's killed by the skill, revive a random dead ally and block revive if the target is killed by the skill. On its own, oh, that's a pretty good ability. Yeah, it's way, way better than you think, man. It's way better than you think, okay? On his passive, whenever an enemy is revived, you activate that A3 against that enemy and just smack them down and just kill them. Straight up. If multiple enemies are revived, the initial target with revive will blah, 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 blah. Has a 50% chance of activating this A3 skill on an enemy whenever an ally is killed. So he just smack somebody with this A3 if somebody in your team dies. Like, it's just insane. Also, he's insane against Hydra. Instantly activates the A3 against a Hydra head whenever an ally is consumed by that head. It's like, dude, it just goes on and on. The more you read about his passives and stuff, he's just mental into so many areas of the game. And now that I've spent half the video gushing about the first summon pool, on day 2 of the CVC, we have... Who are we looking at here? I haven't even read this yet, man. The newly buffed Bambus 4-Leaf. It's actually a pretty good legendary champion now after the buffs. He got pretty significant changes, to be honest. He's not bad. I don't think he's worth pulling for, but he's certainly not bad. Doing Herald Zaharis, very, very, very good legendary to bring into Chimera. Warmaster Athorian. This guy. I've got a 1-star soul on my Warmaster Athorian. He's in my second best Hydra team on my account, even with just a 1-star soul. He's just that good. We'll touch on his kit in just a second. Grand Dog Podrick is fantastically good. Also, Glycan of the Meltwater. This is a champion that will sneak up on you. Very, very, very powerful support champion. We do have, however, among the Voids, just jump ahead a little bit to the Voids, man, the Pontiff up for grabs from these Void Shard pulls. And as good as Togron is, and, you know, Chalco is actually, like, probably going to be, like, the second best in my view, at least. Chalco's incredibly powerful. A lot of people, I feel, might be tempted to get their hands on the Pontiff if you are into your Void Shard Messi. That said, man, yeah, on my main account, Warmaster Athorian, nuts. Attack all enemies on his A1, get some 10 meter fill. On his A3, I'll just jump to this. 4-turn cooldown, increase attack, increase accuracy, and increase speed buff on Athorian for a few turns. Then grants himself an extra 10. Great. It means you only have to build him with like half the accuracy that you need to then land decrease attack and block buffs debuff on his A2 skill, which is a double header. Attacks all enemies 2 times on a 3-turn. damage is based on enemy max HP. Oh my god, dude. And like the higher level content you go against waves and stuff, the harder this thing obviously seems to hit. But into Hydra, this is just unbelievable. I mean, it's crazy, crazy good. Not only is he going to be like by far the best damage dealer in your team, probably in whatever Hydra team you put him in, but he's taking care of a couple of very, very key debuffs to bring into the team as well. And as if that wasn't all, on his passive, increased this champion's max HP by 20% for each enemy killed or Hydra head decapped by this champion, stacking up to 50k. And so as long as he gets like 1 or 2 Hydra head kills, he almost becomes immortal, which is quite useful as well for a damage dealer. Great, great champion. I'm not going to lie, I haven't actually... Where's the Pontiff? There he is, man. So, Pontiff Augustin. What, is he good? Is he good? I haven't actually read his kit yet. Faction Wars ratings is like his highest. 4.6 Hydra. PvP, not so hot. What does he actually do, man? Now, like some collectors who are just trying to get your hands on all of the event champions in the game and all the limited time event champions in the game. Okay, fine. You might go ahead and pull for Pontiff. I don't think you need to pull the Pontiff to complete like the Assassin's Creed event achievement of like collecting all of the Assassin's Creed champions. I'm pretty sure it's only the Assassins you've got to collect. I'll check on that before the video's over, by the way, just to make sure I'm not wrong. But his A1, 100% chance of placing block active skills for 2 turns, steals a little bit of 10 meter as well. The A2 is a 3 turn cooldown, remove all buffs from all enemies. Okay, cool. Then 100% chance of placing an ensnare debuff on enemies for 2 turns. Ensnare just, I believe, prevents like 10 meter boost and increased speed buffs from having any impact on 10 meter gain. I think that's what it does. I can't be bothered to read that. I'll read up the other thing, but not that. I can't be bothered. Ensnare's not that sexy of a debuff, you know. It will ignore any block debuffs on enemies under 3 or more buffs, and also decrease the 10 meter of all enemies by 25%. But if enemies are under a lot of buffs, it will decrease 10 meter by 40% instead, which is kind of tight, I guess. Do you want to let your enemies get all those buffs off? Go second type arena teams? Maybe. I'm not sure. The A3 plus increase accuracy buff and 1 intercept stack on all allies. Also fill the 10 meter for all allies by 25%. Now we're talking. That's pretty good. Intercept is one of the most powerful buffs in the game. Does the rest of his kit justify him being like the flagship headline? I mean, he's not really the flagship champion of the Assassin's Creed events. That goes to the guy whose name I can't remember now. The Void Legendary Assassin, you know, that one. Pontiff was more of like a bonus champion to collect. Is he good enough? I don't know, man. Allies receive 25% less damage from enemies under block damage, unkillable veil, perfect veil, or stone skin buffs. Each time an enemy receives a buff, is healed, or has their 10 meter filled, has a chance to decrease the duration of all of their buffs by 1 turn, which has got like anti-synergy with his A2 skill, which like relies on enemies being under buffs. So I'm not sure how I feel about that exactly. Doesn't seem like a bad champion. Void legendary quality? Not so sure, man. Speed in all battles by 24% is actually very, very good, though, to be fair. For me, though, in my opinion, the day 1 champion selection from these champions right here, the Newt, or, you know, either Klazag or Gaspard, whichever one you want to go for, is the more tempting of the two. Again, only if you've got a lot of resources kind of stockpiled, especially Voids. We're probably looking at an upcoming 2x event on Void Shards for the upcoming Champion Chase tournament as well, so do bear that in mind too. Yeah, day 1's looking very, very sexy, but overall, you're probably just looking to save resources, let's be honest. I know my free-to-play account, I'm not even looking, I'm not even sniffing my shards for the next 30 days. You know, I'm saving everything over there. And even on my main account, you know, well, I don't mind spending a little bit for like shard pull videos and stuff and whatever, like, so I can pull shards so you guys don't have to and all that, you know. Even me, I'm very, very cautious with my resources this month because next month is going to be swollen, right? It's going to be big. Anyways, thanks for stopping by, man. Let me know what you guys think. Are you going to be pulling shards for this? Is there a champion that catches your eye that you simply can't resist? Let me know down below, man. And while you're down there, if you're looking to create a new raid account, make sure to get that done right now by clicking on the beginner link that's down below this video at the top of the description box.